Hello everyone, today we take a closer look at a console very dear to me and answer the question whether it is still relevant in the year 2021. First of all, I don't want to feed any Switch Pro rumors. There's only very limited information we actually have regarding this upcoming console other than the fact that it's in the making. And with this knowledge, you might ask yourself, is buying a Switch even worth it right now, or should you wait and see what Nintendo has in store for us later this year? When we are talking about the original Switch model, I can definitely see why people ask this question. After all, the new Switch model will presumably function very similar to the original, featuring a dock with HDMI output, detachable Joy-Cons, etc. Though whether the new Switch model will be announced next week or next year, one console is going to stay relevant throughout the Switch's life cycle, and that's the Lite. The Switch Lite came out in September 2019 as an alternative to the original Switch. It was roughly €100 cheaper, smaller, and of course lighter. Those features made it a great purchase for people who didn't want to spend $300 on the flagship console, but also for people who didn't really care for docked mode. Many people, including myself, solely used their Switch handheld, so when the news came out that Nintendo was making an alternative model specifically designed and optimized for handheld use, I got pretty excited. The original Switch can be used in handheld mode, sure, but after a little while you start to notice that it's a bit heavier and bulkier than other handhelds. Comparing it to the Switch Lite is a night and day difference. I was so impressed by it that I ultimately decided to get rid of my Switch, since I only ever played the Lite anyway ever since I got it. There are many benefits to having a Switch Lite. Like I just mentioned, it does a much better job as a handheld device. The matte paint job feels great, the buttons have a softer, more pleasant feel to them, and it features a D-pad unlike the original Switch, which comes in very handy when playing side-scrollers. Traveling is much easier with the Switch Lite. Grab yourself a nice case, and there's plenty of those around, and a screen protector, and you can just toss it in your bag. The Switch Lite doesn't have detachable Joy-Cons and instead is made out of a single mold, making it a lot more durable than the original because it has less moving parts. On the downside, you can't output the Switch Lite to a television or monitor, the very feature that makes a Switch, well, switch. And playing local multiplayer is technically possible with additional controllers, but not very pleasant. The screen is slightly smaller on the Switch Lite by about an inch. This downgrade bothers me a bit because those bezels are really ugly and it makes me wonder what the console would look like without them. There's also smaller downgrades, like the missing HD rumble and the infrared sensor. Thankfully, gyro controls work, and so does Amiibo support. In summary, unlike its flagship sibling, the Switch Lite is a cheaper handheld optimized device that doesn't compete with the original Switch's market. Both consoles have their own target audience, and I don't think that a Switch Pro revision would interfere with the Switch Lite at all. It might be so successful that the original Switch will be discontinued eventually, but this is something we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, knowing all of this, I'm confident that the Switch Lite will be relevant for the next years to come, and I can recommend it to anyone looking for a powerful yet affordable handheld console. The keyword here is handheld, because it lacks the most significant feature of the original, but if you don't care about it, the Switch Lite is actually the better alternative, not just because of the cheaper price. But as you know, this is all just my opinion. I'd like to know what you think of the Switch Lite. Please leave a comment below, and of course, have a wonderful day.